Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so let's just be honest for a second. With inflation doing what it's doing right now, relying on just one single paycheck, it's kind of like walking a tightrope without a net underneath you. Terrifying, right? Well, today we're going to figure out exactly how to build that net. We are unpacking a highly structured, step-by-step roadmap drawn straight from top entrepreneurial insights to help you break totally free from that single income dependency. We're going to demystify the whole process of making money online. No gimmicks, no fluff, just cutting straight to a system that actually works. So here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, we'll look at the online wealth wheel. Then we dive into the side hustle trap, automated e-commerce solutions, building a successful store, and finally, the secret elite stage. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The online wealth wheel. Setting the stage. Look, I know the online space can feel like this massive jungle of confusing advice. There's just so much noise out there. But we're going to cut right through all of that by looking at the journey of entrepreneur Mark Tilbury. So picture this. Back in 1995, Mark was this 28-year-old self-made millionaire. He had this massive offline empire, shops, warehouses, the whole shebang. But then, bam. The internet arrives and practically makes his entire physical empire irrelevant overnight. I mean, he really had to adapt. And, just like a lot of us, he fell for the initial hype, trying literally every trendy method out there. But through a ton of rigorous trial and error, he finally cracked the code and rebuilt his business with the internet at the absolute center of it. Fast forward to today, having an online side hustle isn't just some cute hobby anymore. It is absolutely essential. So if you look at the entire landscape of online entrepreneurs, you can actually divide them up into what we call the online wealth wheel. Take a second and ask yourself, which stage are you currently in? Because honestly, an alarming 55% of people are stuck right there in stage 1. They have absolutely no side hustle. They literally never even start. And usually that's just because they're completely paralyzed by that confusing online jungle we were just talking about. But hey, our goal today is to get you on the board, and more importantly, keep you moving up through these tiers. All right, moving to section 2, the side hustle trap. Why 28% fail. And that brings us to the main villain that is currently trapping 28% of aspiring earners. We call it shiny object syndrome. This is basically when you're just constantly jumping from one trendy online money-making method to another without ever actually committing to any of them. I mean, come on, we all have that graveyard of unused domain names, right? One week it's print on demand, the next you're selling books on Amazon, then suddenly you're a stop day trader. It's exactly like a miner who tirelessly digs through the dirt, only to completely abandon their tunnel and start fresh somewhere else right before their pickaxe strikes gold. They just waste all their initial effort repeating the exact same exhausting cycle. And the kicker? It is almost never the business model that's flawed. It's just the lack of dedicated time and effort. So how do we avoid this trap? Well, the winning strategy is beautifully simple, actually. Pick one model. Just one. Commit to it for a solid 6 to 12 months and pour absolutely everything you have into scaling it. You really got to forget this whole idea of finding the perfect side hustle. Just pick something that's relatively easy to start. And, if you don't already have a high-income skill like coding or professional video editing, the source material highly, highly recommends committing to e-commerce. Why? Because the potential to scale is just immense. Which perfectly tees up section 3. Automated e-commerce solutions, the cheat code. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't e-commerce mean like dealing with massive warehouses full of cardboard boxes and those super stressful shipping negotiations? Well, not anymore. I mean, yeah, the old way was totally brutal. You had manual inventory, really complex supply negotiations, expensive setups that took weeks and cost hundreds of dollars just to get off the ground. But the modern approach, it leverages AI. It's a real game changer. There are tools highlighted in our source material, like buildyourstore.ai, that can literally launch a fully automated, professional-looking storefront for free in a matter of minutes. It picks the niche, designs the store, and links right up with a Shopify trial that costs a whopping $1 a month. But wait, what about the actual physical products? Well, that's where integrations like AutoDS come into play. Think of this tool like the autopilot system on a massive commercial airplane. It imports the products, updates the pricing, and ships the orders directly to your customers. You don't even touch the inventory. You don't package a single box. Your one and only job is to focus 100% of your energy on driving traffic. And let me tell you, driving traffic becomes incredibly lucrative once you really understand the math behind it. $10,000. How in the world do you get that number without blowing a fortune on paid ads? By utilizing free platforms like TikTok. The math here is so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Let's say you create some free engaging videos about your product on TikTok, right? And you hit 100,000 views. Now, if just 1% of those viewers decide to buy your $10 product, boom, that equals exactly $10,000 in revenue. There's no bouncing around between 50 different business ideas. You just commit, launch, and use free attention to scale the whole thing up. All right, on to section 4, building a successful store. This is stage 3, the 16%. So who are the 16%? These are the folks who have finally broken past that frustrating $50 barrier and are now earning up to 10 grand a month. And they do things fundamentally differently, using this super clean 4-step methodology. Step 1, stop trying to appeal to everyone. Seriously, if you speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. You need to clearly define your exact ideal customer, their age, their daily struggles, their hobbies, and speak directly to them. Step 2, stay consistent. Look, you don't need to pull 12-hour workdays. You really just need small daily actions. Post your content daily, actually reply to comments to build up that trust, and constantly test out tiny tweaks to your product descriptions. Step 3, show, don't just tell. And step 4, build social proof. At the end of the day, people need to see proof before they're ever going to hand over their hard-earned money to some brand they've never even heard of. Let's actually bring that crucial third step, show, don't tell, to life with a really specific example from our source material. So imagine you're selling a custom gaming controller. If you just post some random blurry gameplay clip with a link in bio text, it's going to fail. It just is. You have to give your customers a crystal clear reason to buy. You need to physically show the controller right up close to the camera. Demonstrate exactly how those extra buttons, those paddles on the back actually work. Explain the tangible real-world benefit. Tell them how it literally helps players react faster and gain a massive competitive edge. Then, physically hold it up and compare it side by side to a standard controller. The lesson here is absolutely crucial. If your customers cannot immediately see the product, understand why it's better, and grasp the actual benefit to their own lives, they simply are not going to buy it. And that brings us to our final section, section 5, the secret elite stage, or stage 4, the 1%. So what exactly is it that separates this tiny ultra-elite group from the 16% who are just doing, successfully? It really boils down to one incredibly powerful word: reinvesting. The elite 1% completely understand that the goal of making your first bit of online income isn't to just run out and buy a bunch of flashy, nice things. No way. The real power of money is using it to make more money. As soon as you secure that first real profit, you plug it right back into your business using 3 main methods. First up, you upgrade your tools. You graduate from those manual, tedious tasks to software that saves you time, which basically allows you to scale up way faster. Second, you reinvest heavily in marketing. You stop just sitting around waiting for organic traffic to bless you, and you start paying for targeted ads or maybe working with smaller influencers to actively go out and acquire new customers. And third, you outsource. You finally realize you literally cannot do everything alone. You pay someone on a site like Fiverr to design a really slick professional logo, or maybe you toss a buddy some cash to film your social media content for you. But treating your side hustle like a true investment vehicle, you completely separate yourself from the rest of the pack. Which brings us to the very end of our roadmap today. We've stripped away all the usual noise, and we've shown you the exact path. From avoiding that deadly shiny object trap to leveraging AI like a pro, all the way to reinvesting just like the top 1%. The tools are absolutely out there waiting for you. But the real question you have to answer is this: if your primary source of income just totally disappeared tomorrow, would your current side hustle be enough to keep you afloat? Or are you still just standing on the sidelines, watching everyone else? The choice of which stage to conquer next is entirely yours. Keep learning, stay hyper-focused, and I will see you in the next explainer.